All right, next up, beveling. Crap. I think I should have kept those assets right. Do I want to keep these assets? Yeah, I'll keep the pillar. All right. So we've got a pillar. So in this, I've just pressed selected my object and press F to focus the camera on what I'm actually trying to model. So as I rotate my camera, the object stays centered. Right. So bevels. Let's show you what bevel does. If we hold down right click and go to edge mode, I'm going to double click on the edge loop, and if I edit mesh bevel. Right. So bevel, if I turn it off, is taking this really perfect CG edge, which is a 90 degree-ish change in direction, and if I add on a very small value, it's cut that corner off into a 45 degree angle instead, so it's a more gradual change in direction. And what that does for a 3D mesh, you don't want to, I'm going to just press G to repeat that function, changing the value to the same value, 0.05. I'm going to do the same down the bottom, 0.05. So again, I'll go through the menu one more time so that you see it. So edit mesh, bevel, and change it to 0.05. All right. So at this point, what I've done is I've got rid of all those really hard edges. I'm gonna just I'll show you a trick quickly. If I select this edge and shift and double click on the edge next to it, so not on the edge loop, so I'm clicking on this edge and shift double clicking on the edge adjacent to it, is grabbing all of the edges in the ring. So a loop is an edge which directly feeds all the way around, whereas a ring is a series of edges which are parallel to each other going around. So clicking on one and then shift clicking on the parallel edge which is adjacent to it. And now if I go into mesh display and soften, you might just notice that there's a really kind of subtle change in the shading. It just smoothed it out. So I'm going to do it again down the bottom. So before I've done anything, you can see really clear faceting where one phase feeds into another. So at this point, you know what? It's going to be easier if I just simply select the whole mesh display, soften edges, and we can see that the entire object has been smoothed out. I don't want it all to be smooth though, so I'm going to quickly edge mode, select the edge loop there. So I'm selecting all the ones which are responsible for major changes in direction. So bottom of the pillar, bottom of its plinth, I've just changed my laptop's language to American, wicked. Let's change that back quickly, United Kingdom, whoop. And mesh display, harden edge. So now we can see, as an entity, it looks it's masquerading as something more high resolution than it is. But anyway, looking at the mesh compared to at the start of the video, I should really have. I'm going to take a duplicate of it quickly. So Control and D to duplicate it, and on this mesh, I'm going to get rid of my history up until here. Edit, delete node. So I've just selected the mesh. I've gone into the channel editor, edit, delete node, edit, delete node. It's a really horrible way of doing this. Delete node, edit, delete node. Come on, delete node, edit, delete node. There you go. So I'll just quickly mesh display, soften, just so we can make a comparison between old and new. So shift and double click in to select edge loops, mesh display, harden edges. Okay, so on the right is our original mesh before we started applying bevels. So in terms of kind of weight and how it responds to light, the one on the left, although it's only marginal, the fact that we've got a rim around significant changes in direction means that light is hitting that corner and bouncing back towards our viewport. And as it's replicating the real world. Very little in the real world actually has like a perfect change in direction. So there will always be a little highlight on corners. It's just a matter of how significant a bevel an object has. So applying bevels with in moderation to our assets. It's something we should apply when we get to the end of modeling something. Yes, so that's beveling.